Okay, it says unable to detect camera.
Magda, Anne is here. Can you hear me?
I can hear you over the wall.
No,
Just speak a little bit louder and I will hear you.
Okay.
I should
my God.
open my door so I can hear you better.
Okay, does it show that it's recording on your end?
It is recording.
So be mindful of what you say. And I cannot stop recording because it was set up like this. Hi, Anne. So how many people are we expecting today to be our guests? Magda?
2.
Two. I can hear through the speakers.
So, well, but my camera is not working for some reason. So anyway, so do you want me to start, Elena?
Yes, please.
All right. So welcome, Michael. The other person is still not here. I will watch to let her in. So this is Mikhail Kreichie, currently residing in Prague, the Czech Republic, and he is here to discuss with us today uh, kind of friendship of people from around the globe. He's one of my friends with the highest longevity. We have met each other in mid-80s when we worked for Czech Airlines, and we have been very close friends since. Especially, here's one more person, admit. So,
I admit it.
and he's a very sophisticated man. He speaks several languages. At one time, he worked as a head purser or vice president of such of Czech Airlines. He will correct me because I was not there anymore at the time. And then he left for many years, and now he's a consultant for telecom companies. But he made me correct on that as well. He's a very worldly man. He traveled around the world many times around, and he is amazing. And he's one of my best friends. That's why and very knowledgeable. That's why I thought he would be a great speaker. And now another person joined us. Dana Potměšilová. She is also amazing. She is a tour guide in many languages around Prague. She's very knowledgeable of the history of Prague and the Czech Republic. Many times when people in United States discover I'm from the Czech Republic, they want me to tell them where to stay, what to eat, what to do, and I have to remind them I haven't lived there for 29 years. So I always refer them to Dana because she is great tour guide, and she gave tours to many of my friends who were searching for the genealogy roots in Czech Republic. And so I would like to welcome her to our session as well. So Elena, let me know, how are we going to do asking questions?
We are going to ask questions as we can think of them. So, Magda, do you have questions in front of you? I quit hearing you.
Can you hear me now?
Now I can hear
And we
you.
are like the cartoon. They have like the Zoom sessions is the new voodoo. If you hear us, give us a sign. If you see us, give us. It's my favorite cartoon of the last 2 years. Only way I can communicate is with Elena over the wall.
Yes, our offices are
I should
next to each
probably
other.
open my. Anyway, I just would like to ask the first question to Michael. How are you? And what is the time right now in your part of the world? And you are muted. Michael, you are muted. So we have this is a voodoo session.
Hold on. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Can you hear me now?
This is a voodoo session in the making. All right. I think you are
Thank you
unmuted,
for
even
asking.
though I
I'm
cannot hear you.
fine.
What?
Thank you for asking. I'm fine. Busy working actually. Spending my time at work. I've got plenty of work as always. It is now 10 minutes past 6 in the afternoon in Czech Republic, where I live, not in Prague. And is that the answer to your question? I guess it is.
Did you say not in Prague? Where are you then, if it's not Prague? Michael, can you hear me?
Oh, yes. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Can
I
you hear
think there
me?
is a delay.
Can you hear this?
Yes, I can.
There is a delay. Okay, I used to live in Prague in the city, but then I decided to start living on the outskirts. Prague is relatively big, but the outskirts are not much populated, and we have beautiful nature within reach. So I just commute 30 minutes on a train, and I'm in the center of the city. But still, my house here in this village of Strančice, what is called, is in the middle of the forest. So that's where I am. This is a village where I was actually born. My grandmother used to live here, and then the family wanted to sell the house, and I stepped in and I said no. I'm actually emotionally related to the house, so I'm gonna buy it, and I've been living here for about 10 years now.
This is exactly what we wanted to hear from our international friends about real lives of people, not
Why?
what you read in in newspaper, basically. So I will
Yeah.
ask the second question. What is the weather like this time of the year in your place?
Oh, it's very, very wintry. We just had the temperatures have just dropped after Christmas. Usually Christmas is muddy and rainy, but then the temperatures drop, and the entire month of January and February are cold, and there's lots of snow. So I've just been for a walk, and it's like mountains here. It's a hilly countryside. We have bits of forest and fields and villages, and there's about 20 centimeters of snow at the moment, and it's still snowing. Everything's completely white, and it's gorgeous.
Wow. Well, we have a big warm up this week for 2 days. It's going to be
Did you?
about up to 10 degrees Celsius, I believe.
Really? Okay.
And then cold again.
Yeah. Not the entire country is covered by snow, but definitely this part where I'm living is beautiful snowy weather.
And could you repeat the name of your village? I'll look it up on the map.
It's Strančice, Strancice, Strančice.
Mhm.
It's southeast from Prague.
Did you hear Magda? Magda? She can't hear me. Okay, so who would like, Anne, would you like to ask another question? No? Anne?
I'm just thinking of one because I don't have any questions right in front of me. So maybe you guys can go next and I'll ask another one in a minute.
I will send you the questions, okay? Unless we want to ask just impromptu questions.
I have them. I just need to open them on my computer.
If you have a mail open, I can send them to you right now.
It's all right. I've got it saved.
Can you hear me?
Now we can hear you.
Okay, but I cannot hear anybody else. This is just, so I have a question. If you could change something, what would it be?
If I could change something, what, in Czech Republic or in general?
In your life.
In my life? Oh, I wish I could lose some weight. No, I think I wish if I would make the days longer. I find the days too short because I've got so much stuff to do, and most of it is interesting. And I've got so much debt, in doing stuff that I would like to do. I've got so many hobbies and work that I want to make the days longer. About 20 hours daytime and 15 hours sleep. That would be all right.
So what are some of your hobbies? What do you do in your free time?
I have many. I'm a photographer. I like portrait photography. I've got, I usually keep some animals in the house. So I used to have a dog. Now I have some rescue cats that live, the house is relatively big and I have a big garden. So they like it here. I read a lot, music, of course. Just like, I would say ordinary hobbies, nothing really special. I, I like sociology that I studied. I'm still interested in the topic. And I think my hobby is my work is my hobby as well. Recently, I've sort of developed a tendency to examine and perform and diagnose cultural transformations of larger organizations. So that's really very interesting. I love that. So that I could say that that's my hobby too.
Do you have any favorite Czech customs that you can talk about? Customs, traditions?
You know, I'm from an international family. Part of my family is Czech. Part of my family is French. We have Austrian roots in my family. Part of my family is British. So there it's such a medley of customs and such a combination of influences that I can't really favoritize anything special. Maybe I think I quite like some of our Christmas customs that my mother taught me, such as did you hear about waiting for the golden pig on the Christmas day?
I
Is
believe
there
I
an
heard.
equivalent in Russia?
So
Is
But
there an
huh?
equivalent
I
in
was
No,
just
Russia?
going to say,
we
No?
don't have that.
I was going to say, even though I cannot hear a thing, I'm sure it was brilliant and intelligent, but maybe we can do back and forth between Michael and Dana, so she's just not sitting here.
Yes.
So I was going to ask her, if you could live in another country, which country would that be?
Maybe you would like to introduce Dana first?
I did already.
Okay.
But that's okay. Yeah, Dana, I don't think she did hear it. She needs to unmute first, though. Dana, you need to unmute.
I told.
We are in the voodoo session again. And she didn't hear me probably when I introduced her. She's an international tour guide in Prague in multiple languages. She's very knowledgeable about history of Prague and the Czech country. And many of my American friends raved about her experience. She helped them find their relatives or ancestors in the Czech Republic, taking them all over. And actually, the way we met is I was visiting one of the branch of Czech archives, and she was at the time working there, or I never really figured out the whole story. And we started talking, and it was many years ago, and we stayed in touch on and off. But our friendship really took off since last winter when I visited, because we got to spend a lot of times together. And thanks to Zoom and everything, we have been in touch several times a week now. So I will repeat the question again. You are no longer on mute. If you could live in another country, which country would it be?
Aha. Hello to everybody. We jump in the middle. And I would love to live in country with seaside. A little bit warmer than it's here also. That would be great.
So something like south of France?
Italy, Tuscany, there is also wonderful food. And mountains also for skiing are not far. A lot of history, a lot of culture. I would imagine like even one of the islands in Mediterranean Sea, but 50 years ago at least.
Well, in that case, I will ask you another question. What is your favorite traditional food from your area? And if you had to choose food from your seaside country, what would it be?
I will start with seaside. Definitely, I love pasta, all different kinds. Ravioli can be stuffed with cheese or vegetables, whatever. And from my country, I think very unique are those little cookies which we make for Christmas. In my family, we have recipes which are 70 years old, and we used to make them with my mother, with my family. The preparation takes the whole month. And also they need time, to settle in a cold zone for 2-3 weeks. Wow. And we make about 20 different kinds. Nowadays, my mother, she's 85, so she's preparing only like 12 or 13 for Christmas. Different kinds.
You mean? Yeah, not cookies. So what are they called? What are these cookies called? What is the name of them?
The Vánoční cukroví, Christmas cookies. And then each of them is having a name.
Very interesting. Well, thank you. And can you share the recipe?
Like the beehives. I'm sure you're familiar with them.
What is it? Say it again, Michael. Okay.
Well, they are also connected. They are also connected to nature, because we are making like a little sea, which is a symbol of moon. Then some circles, which is symbol of vitality, of life, and etc. So there is also very old wisdom. Michael, you can go on.
Michael, I like your cat. It shows up from time to time.
Yeah, she's always interested. The moment I start working, the moment I go in a meeting, the cat's on the table. She insists on sitting on my computer. It's always like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do I have to go unmute each time, or I just stay on?
You unmuted yourself, so you can stay on. If you get muted, you will see that you have a little symbol, red microphone by your picture. Okay. That means you're muted.
I am permanently unmuted.
Good. So another question. Michael, what is your favorite place to travel to? Your favorite place to go to?
Hard to analyze that because I basically spent my life traveling. Now, recently, for the last 5 or 7 years, I've settled down and I've spent most of my time in Prague. But before, my entire life, like 30 years traveling all over the world, and I can't, I basically I loved every place, and it's I would hate to discriminate. If I say that my favorite city is New York, I would discriminate Singapore, and if I said my favorite tropical islands are Seychelles, I would discriminate Borneo. So it's really hard to say. I don't mind. I like every bit of the world. I find everywhere interesting.
If you say your favorite place is Kansas City, you won't discriminate anybody. So welcome to come to our place, right, Magda?
My favorite place in the whole wide world is Kansas City.
Kansas City, Kansas. Sorry, because we have two Kansas cities,
Kansas,
and Kansas City, Missouri.
I've never been. I've never been. I was supposed to be there for Thanksgiving this year. After my promise to Magda that I would come and visit, but since we have COVID, I couldn't come. So I will have to come some other time.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
But I've been to the United States a lot.
Yeah. Speaking of COVID, how has the pandemic affected your country? In your personal opinion? Mm-hmm. Your turn, or she's gone again. I can see her, Dana.
Yeah, just like I've been following the situation everywhere. Actually,
I think she's restarting her video.
Don't yell, I can hear you.
Actually, I've focused on many countries, and it seems that Czech Republic was very similar to what was happening everywhere else. I think we had this system we had the system of, we call it the dog, the guard dog. The country goes into a state of emergency number
Guarding
1, 2,
dog.
3, or 4, and yeah, that's what they call it in Czech Republic.
Oh, fine.
And yeah, hlídací pes. And the situation went up and down. Sometimes there was a moment when Czech Republic was the best in the world in number of infections. Recently, last week, we were the worst in the world, and it's just like a roller coaster. And I mean, I'm fine. It hasn't affected me much because I can sit at home and I'll go for meetings online, and I work just like I did before. But many people are actually affected by all those limitations and regulations, and I'm not talking about people who are severely ill, and about people who died with COVID. So I think the general answer from me would be that I am disappointed with the situation, and I'm really waiting for this to finish. Although personally, I'm not that much affected.
So were you able to work from home before the pandemic? Was that?
Oh, absolutely.
Worked?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. But I would, of course, I prefer going to the office because there I can talk personally with my colleagues. But since we have this equipment, we can, and I usually work internationally. So I have colleagues in Germany, in UK, and Sweden at this moment, and most of them are in various places in Czech Republic. So we usually meet online, and we usually do long distance. Before I would travel. I would travel to meet people in person for work, but that no longer is possible.
And what can you say about that? What's your take, Nada? Hello.
Sure, there was problem with connection, but I hope I am back.
We can hear you
And see you.
Oh, wonderful. So my situation is very different from Michael because I used to work with tourists. So since last spring, it means 2020, there's no basically any tourism. And I tried to find another job, but nothing really came up. And I start to have some health problems. So since now I'm looking for a job, and because of Christmas and my mom is but now springtime, I hope that things will get better, and also I will start to look for a job again.
Yeah, that brings us to another question. So what are both of your hopes for the new year? Hopes for the new year for both Dana and Michael.
I hope that the vaccine is going to solve this one once for all, and that we will be able to go back. Yeah. That's my greatest wish at the moment.
I hope that we will have enough energy to get over all this, because it really takes power, and also to have a good mental health, to have a strength to go through.
Mm-hmm. I don't think we talked about where you stay, where you live, what kind of arrangement it is. Is it an apartment? Is it a house? Or is it a middle of the city? Because that affects how people feel when they stay in quarantine at home. So do you live in an apartment or a house? Can you go outside to your backyard and enjoy the nature?
I am living in an apartment alone. My family, it's 400 kilometers away, except my mom, which is like 30 kilometers. And I go to visit her, but she is really afraid. So mostly I spend with her on phone. I have a little dog, so I have to go out with him, but really short walks, and otherwise I stay indoor. Doing some little repairs or whatever. So I stay with my friends. Like we call each other from time to time. Otherwise, I don't live in a big family as I used to. We used to live 5 people in 3-room apartment. So mostly three kids in one room. So I had like 3 square meters for myself. And the situation is different now. I'm here alone, which, with a dog. No? I'm alone, but not lonely.
Mm-hmm.
So what is your neighborhood like? Do you live in the city, and is there green space nearby? Do you have neighbors that are close by?
Block of flats, many houses. And in front of us, we have first house in this area. So there is nice view on all Prague. I live in Prague. And also here is a view on horses, farm with horses, and medieval fortress, which is ecological center. So it's, in fact, it's very pleasant. And the city right now, we'll try to show later if there will be possible to see something on video. It could be any city on the world, which is really amazing. A lot of lights.
Wow.
Sorry, friends, it took me only half an hour to figure out I could log in through Zoom, through my iPhone.
Ah, so now you can see us and now you can hear us.
Yeah, but except I'm here twice. I have 2 cameras from 2 different angles, one worse than the other. So I don't know which one am I supposed to turn off.
Well, the first one, the computer one.
It's already turned on. Oh yeah, here I can do that.
Actually, yeah, camera, not recording.
I already have it. Anyway.
Because I believe you're recording on your computer.
Mm-hmm.
So it's gonna save there. We just need to know where.
Yeah, I just hear. I'm just listening to you through my iPhone. So.
You think after this amount of time we would have Zoom all figured out, but it keeps throwing new glitches at us.
I have no
to
idea
keep
what
us on our
happened. I
toes.
never have problems with it. I use it 3 times a day today, and I don't understand.
Well, I use 2 different computers, so it kind of sort of works too. So next,
So have you asked, what is your favorite place to travel? Has anybody asked that yet?
We asked Michael, and we haven't asked Dana yet. So Magda, you were quiet all this time, so now it's your turn to ask questions.
Well, I couldn't really tell which question you asked already. So
I'll just ask them. We pretty much covered everything, right?
Pretty close.
And yeah, because so now Magda, you can improvise.
So anyway, there's another story. Michael was supposed to come visit me last Thanksgiving. After 28 years, I finally talked him into visiting me in Prairie Village, Kansas on Tomahawk. So he finally overcame all of his preconceived notions, and we had the trip planned. I had it like which day we go where, all the museums, and all of them, I mean, and restaurants and places. And because of COVID, unfortunately, it didn't happen. So I hope it happens in 2021, right?
Of course it will.
We actually talked about it.
Yeah. So anyway, so did anybody ask what do you do in your free time?
Hobbies?
Did you share with us climbing pear trees, having your roof repaired.
No, haven't heard that.
Amazing pictures of bicycling and trips, around his little town. So
Yeah, I do a lot of cycling, but this year I haven't done much because I've really spent time reconstructing this old house. So I gave it a new roof, a new chimney and stuff. Loads of repairs. That's going to continue next year, but that basically took up my entire summer. But I'm proud.
Are those
By
repairs
yourself?
that you do yourself?
Of course not.
Okay. Like you are
Of course not.
multi-talented.
I had to hire several companies. It was actually complicated because this house had a roof made of material that contained asbestos, and the roof was from 1939 and had to be removed by a special company. So they arrived. They looked like space people, in their own, and yeah. And they removed it. They removed the toxic material in a proper way. It was actually interesting to follow. There's a lot of bureaucracy connected to it, but I managed. So now there's a nice new roof. There is a new chimney. There's new electricity, and next year is going to be the facade and windows. So that was my.
So it's an old house that you live in. Did you say it's an old farmhouse? Okay.
It was built in 1938, I believe, by a man who worked in the railway, in the Czech railway, and he stole most of the materials from the railway. And when it was discovered, he went to jail, and the property was confiscated by the municipality. And
Wow.
that's when my grandfather and my grandmother step in. And they bought it from the municipality.
What a story!
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I love the house and I love the surroundings, and it's really, I spent my childhood here. I had my grandmother who was fantastic here.
Do you have pictures of the house that we can show us?
I do. I'm not sure if I can show them to. I'll try later.
Okay. Or you can put the thing in selfie mode and just go around.
I think actually it doesn't work very well if the light is not bright and you can see.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like it's interrupted.
Then I had to rescue the house. That was an adventure because my grandmother died and my father inherited the entire property. And he was looking forward to the money because the value is significant. So he was looking forward to selling the house and spending the money. I had to step in and I had to buy it. I had to buy it from him. So I had to invest a lot of money and effort into that. We can imagine that these negotiations are never simple, but I'm managed. I'm proud of it. I saved this house, so it'll be here.
Is your father alive?
He's alive. Yeah. He's.
And you still talk to him after negotiations?
Well, it's been difficult because my father has left the family when I was 2 years old, and he didn't take any care of me at all afterwards, and so I had to establish a new relationship that hasn't been there before with him. Because of course he lives in the house. He lives downstairs. He's got his apartment downstairs. I live upstairs, and I own the house. So we had to find a way how to live together, how to carry on, and we've been learning about our relationship, about each other for 20 years now. I think that despite the conflict and frequent fights, we are now more of a father and son than we used to be when I was a child.
Interesting.
And how far away does your mom live?
7 kilometers away.
In the same village?
Yeah, no. It's a little town that recently was proclaimed the best place to live in the entire small Czech Republic. Been voted So she has a little house there.
Can you bicycle over there, or is it too far
I
away?
I do it all the time. I get
what's
there
the
on my
name of
bike
the
in
town?
15 minutes. Říčany. It's Ricany.
And Donna, where does, you said your family lives 400 kilometers away. Where do they live?
Donna, you are muted.
And your bandwidth is low.
Okay, sorry for that.
Muted again.
I was disconnected a few times.
Then I can still see that you're muted.
Maybe.
You know, if you close your image, then the sound will be better.
I hear you. You don't hear me?
I hear you.
I hear you now.
Okay. So Olomouc, 400 kilometers east from Prague. Olomouc is a beautiful city. It's also having UNESCO statue or medieval column.
Heritage. Yeah.
How do you spell that? How do you spell the name of the town?
I don't understand.
Olomouc.
Magda did. Yeah.
I'll have to holler across the hallway over there.
No, I can hear you through the microphone, through the speakers.
I have microphone here. Maybe I can just put it there. Okay, maybe now it's better.
So what's your dog's name?
Disappeared.
S-E-B-E.
Oh, cutie. What breed is it?
Chippy.
You know, we can actually type in the chat.
I think it's I don't know if it is Chihuahua. I don't know.
Looks like
I can. You.
Donna, try to take your image in front of your camera. Maybe we can hear you better then. I think it's the same principle when you are looking for directions in your car. You turn the radio off and then you can see better. It's kind of simple.
It's you either hear or look at something. All right. Well, I typed to Donna that she can type to everybody if we can read.
But she's using her phone, so it's difficult to do that.
And it does say that the bandwidth of your internet is low.
Yeah, well, I spent half a day on Friday walking around with her cell phone through her apartment to figure out where is the best connection. So I worked with her on it on Friday.
Oh, so this is the best.
I don't know. Just we should probably encourage her to turn the camera off now when we know already how she looks like. All of us know she's beautiful. We just need to have the questions answered now.
You know, Magda, what's interesting? You have two pictures, one your face, one the flowers. And when you start talking, your flowery one appears on the screen.
I know. Because I'm just an innocent flower. Actually, it's a lotus flower. Do you want to hear about the symbolism of lotus flower?
Of course.
No, it's just.
It's just like those rocks that you posted about on the programming blog. Laura told us that somebody complained that you.
No, actually, it was pre-approved by Laura. It was crystals, not the rocks. Laura picked it. Let me repeat, Laura picked it because I knew off the bat somebody will have complaints about it.
Magda was pronounced a local witch.
Michael, do you have family that lives with you in your house, or do you have the house all to yourself?
I have my partner is British, and at the moment he's here with me. He's been here for the last almost 4 months. It's complicated. It's difficult to travel. Sometimes we are in London, but most of the time we are in Czech Republic, and he travels abroad for work a lot as well. So we are here together at the moment, which is fine. Actually, it's good because we can overcome the times of isolation together. Both of us work hard, and my mother lives, as I said before, nearby, about 7 kilometers away. So we maintain the social distancing when we see each other, because I'm scared she's approaching 80 years of age.
Yeah.
And so I'm being really careful. But we are, my mother is computer savvy, so we can talk like this when she's interested.
That's good.
Yeah,
That's good.
And Dana, you have to unmute yourself.
I don't even see her picture.
Give us a sign if you can see us.
So, Michael, what kind of COVID vaccine are they offering in Czech Republic, if any?
all of them.
All of them?
I was, but with the exception of Sputnik. I have.
Sputnik is the one that works.
Yeah. I've been. I would be willing to get vaccinated with any vaccine if they were available. They've just recently published the priority list for the Czech Republic. It seems that my turn will be in July.
Oh.
So I don't think it's going to be that early. How about you guys? When are you going to get vaccinated, if ever?
Well, we just heard from our school district that they were seeking people who would be interested in that. It doesn't mean that they know when exactly they will get it. And it's going to be Moderna. We have some people actually managed to get Pfizer vaccine, some Moderna, and that's it. But only the first stage so far, first phase of vaccination has been rolled out for medical personnel so far, and not all of them even. But what interesting,
go
ahead.
Given the current circumstances, of course, I've been focusing on what's going on in the United States. I was following the political situation and the election. So basically, I watch CNN and BBC and other stations, Al Jazeera, every day to get the news about United States. And it seems to me that with vaccination, the situation is similar in the United States to the Czech Republic. We're not really certain of what's going to happen, what's going to happen next, but we're certain that something's going on.
I heard yesterday in the news that a lot of countries, a lot of rich people from different countries started new medical tourism. They go to Arab Emirates and get vaccines there freely.
Yeah.
They don't quarantine anybody for 2 weeks, so foreigners can come, get vaccines, and fly back.
Yeah. I hear about cases of people who got lucky. They were just passing by a vaccination spot when somebody just called out, listen, we have 2 more doses ready and we don't have anybody to get vaccinated, so why don't you come and you're going to get the shot.
So that's here. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what happened in Czech Republic. I believe it's happening all over the place because the vaccine doesn't last for a long time, right? It expires quickly when it's defrosted, whatever, one of those kinds. So some people get lucky.
Very interesting. So we should come up with more interesting questions than what we
covered
came up
everything
so far.
quickly.
Yeah, I know. So how was
Do
our
you have
friend?
any questions for us, Michael?
Oh yes, well, I'm very keen on hearing what's life like in US and how you've been going through all these dramatic events that took place recently. I was in horror when I watched 2 days ago what was going on in the capital. So I would wonder how did that affect you?
It does feel very surreal.
Yeah.
Like that.
Listen, I've yeah. Sorry.
Something like that happened in our local capital in Topeka, right?
But yes, but I think that was misreported. That was reported in the news, but apparently the protest in Topeka was not violent, and
they didn't go into the capital.
They may have gone in, but they were out right away.
How about the Michigan?
I haven't heard anything about that one.
Yeah, there was something in Michigan in the fall.
Maybe sieges of police department, stuff like that, but not the capital of the capital.
As an outside observer, I would never expect anything like that was even possible to happen in the United States. I wouldn't expect this from US. It's really bizarre. But I found the fact that Trump was voted president bizarre already. So that's really for me difficult to understand given what I know about the United States. And but you know, these places are taking place all over the world. I refuse to understand Brexit in the same way. It's this new world is not very pleasant for me to observe.
I was just talking to some German friends and about all of this, and they talked about the rise of the AfD in Germany and how it's Alternative for Deutschland, so it's their far right party, and they are now seated in parliament, which, you know, a few years ago would have been unbelievable. Yeah. So it's this is definitely something that's rising all over the world.
So something has changed, because here in Czech Republic the politicians get away with horrible proclamations. They say horrible stuff, they do horrible stuff, and they get away with it. 10 years ago they would not be able to do it. We have a corrupt prime minister, and it's all right. He gets away with it. So
it's a far right everywhere.
Something has changed. Something has changed in the world, and it's not towards the better. Yeah, and actually, it's embarrassing mainly for me. It's embarrassing mainly because of the fact that I'm interested about how the social mechanisms work, and this situation is an allegory to the situation that was in Europe before the beginning of the Second World War. I'm really not happy about it.
Michael, you mentioned that you're very interested in the change in corporate culture, and have you seen the similar kind of phenomenon happening within
the corporate world? I can't say that, because the corporations have their stable and distinguished cultures that are sort of independent on at least the ones that I know are independent on the outside cultures that they exist in. I worked for a huge telco company, international, in the British one, that's got 1/3 of the market in Czech Republic, and I can say that the internal culture is absolutely unique and clearly distinguished from the outside culture that's local in the Czech Republic. Now I work for a utility company, German one, and I think I can say the same thing. We're not being affected by what's going on, and if there are any influences from the reactions on the political situation, it's important for me to see that in most cases the management are people who choose the right thing, who who have the right tendencies. I mean, I see support of democracy. I see support of truth. I see analytic criticism. So I think that's all right from this point of view. I can't see any fascist tendencies within larger economy organizations.
Well, at least this is good.
And I'm sure you've seen in the last few days, there's been a big corporate backlash here. Lots of support being pulled from, far right organizations.
Yeah. So maybe the situation is similar, United States. Yeah. I just I'm a former flight attendant, and I managed cabin crew for a long time, and I heard about the union of flight attendants refusing to take people who participated on board planes. Is that true?
Their names got on no-fly lists.
That's what I heard.
Yeah.
Based on what? Based on the fact that they're terrorists. So how can they put them on a no-fly list?
What I heard is that Capitol has its own cell phone tower. So everybody who was participating in the riot, basically whoever used their cell phones, the communication went through that tower. So they had all the data, and lots of people took selfies even inside of the Capitol. So all of that data was available, and so more than 40,000 people already reported that they recognized somebody from the crowd, and reported them to the FBI. So all of that data is available too.
Yeah, but still you can't, based on the fact that the airline knows that those people participated in the event, they can't. I wonder how they can securely say you're not going to travel, although you purchased the ticket, but we're going to exclude you from travel. I probably, if I were these airlines, I'd probably be scared that they will take me to court.
I don't know how they manage that.
I was wondering how did they manage to officially remove them from the flight. Although, of course, I would be ready to pronounce them dangerous for the safety of any flight.
But it's amazing how fast that happened. Remember, not so long ago, there were huge cases when the cell phone companies were refusing to give out information on somebody, for example, some kind of, let's say, terrorist or
but
anybody.
it can be subpoenaed, can't it? If you deliver a subpoena, then the phone company must give you the data, can't they?
It's the same like library records, Alana.
Yeah,
I know. Like
but look at it what's going on right now. How quickly, within days, all that data became available about everything. I mean, how everything has changed. How all these technologies move fast ahead.
Yeah.
Technologies and laws, I guess. Rules, laws.
Yeah. So what do you think is going to happen in the US? Is this going to calm down quickly, or is the country going to stay divided into halves? What's going to happen?
That's the question everybody is asking.
Yeah.
It's been a slow march towards this division in this country, and I don't think anybody knows how to fix it.
Yeah.
Well, then maybe the writing will cease after the 20th.
Yeah.
We don't know what will happen before that.
Yeah. I never thought I would see anything like this in my life, but
I think it's what is horrible is the misinformation.
Yes.
Like with Facebook, I see it like with elderly friends. Every advertising written on the internet, how to put half onion on your bunion to get rid of diabetes. Everything what is written, they believe it's real news.
Mm-hmm.
If it's on Facebook, it must be true.
I think it's a. Without the social media, we didn't know how easily crowds can be manipulated, and I think that we didn't know that the bad people didn't know that they can actually afford being so nasty and lie so openly. They didn't know that this will bring them so much success. Now that they know, they just started doing it, and the way people are manipulated are nasty. Really, it's horrible. What I see in the United States is really it's blatant. I understand that the economy has changed. It has globalized. I understand that it's much more difficult to achieve the American dream than it used to be before. And that Americans are living in completely different circumstances now. But I don't see it. I don't see a real possibility of returning everything just because Donald Trump promises the people that he'll be available to do it. He'll be able to do it.
I was just
and
thinking,
able to do it. And
I like to hike. And here, if you just sway a little bit out of the path into somebody's private property, I'm always afraid I will get shot because of trespassing, or like neighborhood, do not enter, and all this. And these people, they came marching to a Capitol, people's offices, and all the stuff they did there. I was just thinking about it. When I go hiking, I am petrified not to enter somebody's properties. I don't want to get shot.
Yeah.
And I think we as librarians fight so hard against misinformation. We are on a, that is our that's so foundational to what we believe in, and what we try to do every day is help people find accurate information. So
right,
I mean, I know this is difficult, but for librarians to see so much misinformation rampant everywhere, and
I can believe that. What I think is essential that people just, I live in a country where there was socialism and communism for almost 50 years, and people were not taught that they should be. They should be. People were not taught critical thinking. They were not taught independence. They were sort of. I see parallels in Trump's politics. In it just reminds me of the power in Czechoslovakia. Just proclaiming this is the truth because people of power, or the powerful political party proclaims it. So everybody is going to believe it, and you're not supposed to ask any questions. Just obey, believe it, and do what I'm telling you to do. So that's really frightening. When I see similar things happening in United States, my world is shaken.
Mm-hmm.
And I just realized that Anne is the only one.
I believe for you must be in a very, very difficult situation. Sometimes I see that the truth is available, the correct information is available. People can cross-check, but they're not interested because
it doesn't reaffirm their worldview.
Exactly. And what I'm disappointed about is the fact that in most instances the form is more important for people than the actual truth. So if you use an amusing form, if you use marketing and stuff, people are willing to believe too. A complete rubbish.
Cognitive dissonance.
Voila.
Don't use bad words.
Actually, I must admit, I pride myself on also researching and being informed or whatever. But in the spring, when the news came out about Fauci and his past and all that, it was so well written, all these arguments, and article here and article there. I was utterly for a couple of days I really believed it. But I have scientist friends, and they were like, "Oh my gosh, Magda, you also, they kind of set me straight." But sometimes it's very difficult because it's also well written and so persuasive.
I was just thinking that coming back to the growing in socialist country. Anne is the only one who hasn't experienced this in this group.
Well, actually, out of 4 librarians in our little suite downstairs, I always say Cheryl is the only one who speaks English.
Yeah, right. Yeah, because we have 4 librarian offices together, and it's Magda and I, and Cheryl and Arlette. Arlette is from Mexico. I'm from Russia. Magda is from Czech Republic, and Cheryl is the only American. So we make fun saying that she is the only one who speaks English here.
We have a very international librarian staff.
That's good. That's good. Did you know my mother? Sorry.
But Anne lived in Germany and traveled. You know, Anne is very well traveled. So
we need to get Anne downstairs.
No, I think she likes it upstairs.
I can be the exchange student librarian.
She has the corner office with window. She would want to come here.
Oh, posh.
Yeah, that's true.
Did I ever tell you, Magda, that my mother was a librarian originally?
I don't remember.
Yeah, I spent my childhood. Other kids went to play football and to play in the field and stuff, and I would always, after school, I would go to my mum's library and read. I had access to literature that was forbidden to children, so I would read all kinds of horror stories and stuff. It was wonderful.
Library? Where was she?
It was the municipal library in the city of Říčany, which has a long, very long tradition, and it's quite voluminous. I would say it's huge. It's quite big, and at that time, when I was a child, it was popular to go and borrow books from libraries, so it was quite frequented. They had a lot of business, and to get rid of me, my mother taught me to read when I was 4 years old. So then she surrounded me with books and yeah, I don't read as much as I used to, but I was a very, very passionate and keen reader when I was a child. So that was wonderful. Sitting in the library and having piles of books everywhere around me. That was my great childhood.
See, now you would be plopped in front of the computer screen. That would be it.
Yeah. Sometimes I tend to be. I have my sister has two girls. They are 15 and 16 now, and we often talk. And sometimes I ask them about do you really want to spend your life in front of the tablet or in front of your smartphone, or why don't you read a little bit? I bought them the Kindle if they wanted the artificial pages. They have the Kindle already, but it seems to me that they don't want to read the books. They find it boring, not entertaining enough. But I can't say that I see that they are damaged in any way. They get the information. They have their own taste in literature and culture. It's just different.
And where does your sister live? I forgot.
She lives in Prague. She lives on her own. One of her children is hers. The second one is adopted because our family has many dysfunctional branches where help is needed. So yeah, she lives in Prague on her own.
Prague what?
She lives near Prague 6. She lives near the airport.
Prague 6. So
Prague 6.
The city is divided into districts like that with numbers.
Like Paris.
I don't know Paris. Never been there.
Arrondissement. Like in Paris.
Leningrad 1, Leningrad 2.
Oh, it's lovely. Have you been to Prague, guys?
I have.
Nope.
A few times.
I haven't.
It's one of my favorite cities in the world.
Really?
I thought to tell her. She's just saying that because of me.
I saw pictures.
Okay.
Yeah, I have calendars everywhere. Except I realized this year I don't have a calendar for this year. But
I can provide it.
yeah, it was nice. I have kind of calendar everywhere.
Just send me a list of things that you want me to send, and I will.
Oh, that's okay. Thank you.
Can you send 2 calendars?
Say it again. 2
Can
calendars,
you
of
send
course.
2 calendars?
Of course. Of course.
Can you-
Magda
can
gave me
you-
the little one, and it's so interesting. I actually started pronouncing your sounds, reading wherever that thing is. Can you see it? It's last year's.
Oh yeah, the calendar, planned calendar. Okay.
I
Very,
brought
very
it with
interesting.
me last time.
And you wanted to say?
Oh, I was wondering if you could send me some dumplings from the 2 cats.
Dumplings.
Dumplings. Like dumplings,
Uh-huh.
like the actual
Joke.
thing.
Yes, yes.
Ah.
The sweet
There was-
ones.
There was one restaurant that I went to twice, like on 2 subsequent trips to Prague, and I went there the first time and loved it,
You're
and then
breaking.
found the same restaurant again the second time I went to Prague, and they had the best big mugs of beer and dumplings with red cabbage, and it was just delicious.
If that's what you like.
For me, it was
Gosh.
something that I never ate here, so it was very
Dumplings?
exotic.
But you
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
here, if you tell people dumplings, they think those are the little gnocchi types. You put, there are thousands different
Sure.
dumplings. There are Chinese dumplings, you know.
Mhm.
Ravioli, pierogi.
Yes, pierogi. Everyone's got their dumplings, right?
Yes.
Mhm. So when you say dumplings, what do you mean?
Well, there's several kinds of dumplings, but we made, usually Czechs make huge dumplings like this size. It's like a loaf, and they cut them in slices, and they just put
That's
them
what
on,
I'm talking about.
yeah, they just put them on the plate, and you can get sauce, sauerkraut and meat, or all kinds of
Mhm.
stuff with it.
Mhm.
It's a side dish, and there are
What is
several kinds of dumplings.
the word
Oh,
for that?
you must know. You're Russian.
I don't know that.
Knedlíky.
We don't cut anything.
Well, yeah, but they, yeah, all those.
And I
well,
didn't
yeah.
know you liked it. Now I know what to make you.
It was dumplings and beef with red cabbage, and it was, or maybe it might have been pork. I can't
Pork.
remember, but it was
That's
so good.
pork. Yeah, that's definitely
Uh-huh.
pork.
Great,
yeah.
Nana is here.
Where?
Finally.
I admitted her several
can see
times. I
her.
don't know. I can see her still. She's still connecting. So it's lunchtime.
She's
What is
connecting.
everybody going? Well, for us, it's lunchtime, 12. What is everybody going to have for lunch in your
or for dinner.
Oh, for dinner, yeah. For whatever meal there is left.
Your last supper.
Thank you, Magda.
Shall I tell you mine?
Mhm.
Sure. Yeah, I'm sure it will be curry. Are you making curry?
I haven't been to Prague for months because of COVID, and yesterday I had to go to see my dentist in Prague. So on the way back, I stopped in a shop, and I bought some stuff for dinner. So actually, there's nothing like dumplings for dinner tonight. We are going to have Japanese dinner. We're going to have teriyaki chicken.
Wow. How international. I mean, how close the world includes.
It's it is always in here. Although I live on the outskirts of Prague, Czech cuisine is about 10, 15, 20% of what we eat. Most of the time we eat international stuff. We cook Italian stuff, and my partner, he's spent like me. He spent his life traveling all over the world. He lived in Japan. He lived in other countries. He lived in Arabic countries. He lived in Afghanistan, in Bangladesh. So all those cultural influences are showing in the way we cook and eat as well.
I mean, things like this, like communications like this, just show how close we are all to each other, how we became for the past 20 years, the world is just shrunk.
Yeah. And everything is available, now if you want Thai curry for lunch, okay, you go in my village of Strančice of several thousand inhabitants, you go to the nearest shop, and you get the curry paste, and you get decent frozen seafood, so at an affordable price. So that never used to be possible here. Out of the question, never. So
well,
these are really dramatic changes. Exotic fruit, freely available, everything from all over the world. We are globalized.
This is interesting. So I wonder how, like, for example, myself, if I see exotic fruit, I just don't know how to eat it. So I don't get it unless I'm introduced to it by somebody local, from that country.
Yeah. See, it's important if you get introduced by somebody.
You just feel like that, Elena.
What do they do with oranges?
Elena, I used to love my trips to Russia, and I love Russian food dearly. I have.
Hey, do you remember the buckets of caviar on Sheremetyevo?
Oh yeah. Those were the good old days, right?
Oh my gosh.
Magda, you will be getting caviar from everywhere.
I know.
We stayed in a hotel in Russia, and we went down for breakfast, and they only had one item on the menu.
Caviar?
Caviar by bucket.
So when was that?
So we said, oh, when was that? Beginning of 1990s?
Oh, no, that's normal.
I remember we used to bring bucket of crevetki with cream, not mayo, but a real cream, and buckets of caviar. I ate it 3 times a day because it was spoiled.
Shrimp. I don't know.
Yeah.
Those things were not very easy to find. The caviar, yes, but even then it was very expensive. But crevetki, which is shrimp, that was a almost taboo item. I mean, it was very difficult to even find anywhere. So I don't know what kind of hotel you stayed.
It was Iranian caviar.
What?
Iranian. It was Iranian caviar.
No.
It was not.
No. That was whatever you call it, beluga.
Beluga, local.
Yeah, local.
Well, maybe she means that Asitrinaia ikra came from a sorter from Caspian Sea, and Caspian Sea,
I think the fish knows no borders,
I wonder if beluga actually.
Yeah, no, you can't even buy it in the market because it's forbidden to sell. It's not.
Actually, I just got a book on caviar. I'm reading it now, and they said because it has been banned for so many years, it's coming back. So they're starting to fish it again.
Really? Try to offer caviar to anybody local and see what the reaction will be. Fish eggs, ew. So Magda, where do you think your next advertisement of caviar will come from?
I don't know. This is so funny because Elena, if I may say this, Elena, I don't know if I should admit it and whatever. I bought caviar for Christmas, the little tiny bitty jar, and I texted Elena about it, like on regular. It was not messenger; it was a regular phone text, and I was like telling her, "Oh, Whole Foods 30% off." So we were talking caviar back and forth. Then I opened Facebook and I had 20 advertisements on caviar. It was totally crazy. When my best friend who lives now in LA, we used to split it and we bought caviar for New Year's together. So each of us had 12 little thingies, quarter teaspoon. I still had the special horn dishes you are supposed to eat it with because you are not supposed to use metal. And so I texted her. I was like, look what I have. And she said, oh, yeah, I still have one too. So anyway, so this year, because it was on sale, I treated myself with caviar.
Well, with friends, we used to get together and order big orders from that red caviar that I sent you, because they charge you delivery by the jar, by the item, basically. So we would order 20, 30, 50 jars of caviar and split the delivery fee. That worked.
Yeah. Well, I think that's where my friend Misha, hello Misha, if you're listening. My friend Misha's mom buys it, but I don't like red caviar. I like black. I was born with caviar spoon in my mouth. Okay.
Not spoon. That
silver one.
The other one. What's it called, Manda?
It's what?
That thing that you're supposed to eat caviar with, not spoon.
It's a spoon made out of horn.
Ah, okay. So with a horn spoon in your mouth, right?
Well, I don't want them to think it's for shoes, you know.
Shoehorn.
No,
Shoehorn.
So you were born with a shoehorn in your mouth.
Did anybody mention this is being recorded?
Yes. I just don't think we should post it anywhere. Probably not. The original idea was to post it on the online blog, but probably we shouldn't do that. Hey, Magda, don't do it. So what are you drinking?
It's not vodka, Elena, okay?
Yeah. Tell me.
San Pellegrino.
Anybody can put anything in a San Pellegrino bottle. So how was our guest?
У меня сок томатный.
Ой, какая прелесть.
What is it, Michael?
Томатный сок.
Томатный сок.
So you speak Russian too?
Yeah.
He texted me in Russian.
Меня в школе учили.
Ну да, правильно.
Я уже почти все забыл, но все еще понимаю.
Здорово.
Sorry.
Вы по-английски очень хорошо говорите. You speak very well English, British style.
I taught him.
You taught him? I thought you said you didn't come, you came here without any knowledge of English. When did you have time to teach him?
English. I went to other languages. I went to learn at school, but English is. See, that's my one of my hobbies. I should have mentioned that English is my hobby. I never attended a single lesson. I learned English on my own.
Really? Wow.
And of course, but then for almost 30 years I've been living in with an Englishman. So that must have left some influence on me. But
you spoke English ever since I remember you.
Yeah, I used to treasure. I used to want to speak English with American accent before, but then
you speak it with a British accent, not
yes.
Czech. I would say not Czech.
That sounds very nice.
No. Yeah. Okay.
So what is that picture behind you? It's a picture of a man.
Oh no, that's my partner. It's actually I'll give you a tour.
Did you draw it?
No. It's my father. My father did. Hold on. I don't know what you see.
Yep, we see it.
So it's a portrait by my father. It's my partner Malcolm, and then there are other. I collect old pictures. I like collecting old stuff. So these are all old pictures that I collected as I went on, and see. I only have this bit of wall, so I have to stick all of them on one wall. And recently I bought this portrait.
Wow.
of an unknown lady from 1950s. It's a local painter who was a priest, and he painted, and he became quite well known. And I discovered this painting on sale. I bought it for about equivalent of $100. So I bought it immediately. I'm very glad to have it.
Well, as you see, Magda likes to collect old maps and put them on the wall.
Wyandotte County.
It's not an
As I
old map. It
get
should be, it's not an old map. It should be, except the detours, it should be current.
The older I get, the more I like old things around me.
Yep.
So how big is your library? How many people come to borrow books from you?
I
Can you
believe
give me
we
a-
serve about 140,000 people. Anne, is it correct?
You mean in
Wyandotte County.
Wyandotte County? I think that's about right.
Yeah.
Which is not
Or at least in
very
Kansas City,
large.
Kansas.
We have 5 branches. If to count us, we are a main library, which means we have administration in our building. So we cannot count it as a branch. We're a main thing. We're it. But then we have 4 other branches. One is an environmental library on the
You're
lake.
frozen. Okay.
And another one is in community center. And 2 standalone branches, standalone buildings. 3. Which one is the third one?
Okay.
South.
South, west, standalone.
Main.
Main. Yes, Main. So 5 locations. That's considered middle-sized library. Not small, not big.
Okay.
It
And
goes by the population.
who are your most frequent customers? Is it regular population, or is it students, or organizations, or what would you
Depends on the
say?
location. Depends on a branch. Magda, I want to talk about ours.
No, this should be them talking to us. You know, it's for our whatever. But I think we haven't asked Dana for a long time. Dana, do you think you can show us picture of Prague from your window you promised? Do you think it will work?
I don't think she's here. Is she?
Yeah, she is.
Oh, yeah.
Can you hear me? Make a sound if you can hear me.
Make a sign.
Wave.
Sign, yeah, make a sign.
Nope. And we can type too. She's frozen completely.
Sometimes sometimes I hear her picture. Can you hear us, Dana?
She apparently not hearing us.
I will text her.
I did already.
She's gone.
Oh yeah, she's gone now. It's all her internet connection.
I know, that's what I practiced with her on Friday. You know, and she never used Zoom before, and we tested it on her PC, on her cell phone. She has a, how do you call it? Not iPhone, the other one. And then
Samsung?
Android.
Yeah.
Android.
An iPad. So I tried to help her. We were kind of, you know, we were trying to figure out where she has a good Wi-Fi in her house. Apparently nowhere.
That's possible.
I don't know how the Wi-Fi works there. Do you think, Michael, her whole building has the same Wi-Fi, or everybody has to get their own?
It could be either way.
Okay, I think she's going to show us picture of Prague due to popular demand.
How do you know?
I texted her.
We'll try.
So far it looks like so far it looks like Ghostbusters, but it's supposed to be.
Oh, lovely.
Oh,
oh, lovely. That's a view.
See something.
So what city is this?
Beautiful.
It's
a beautiful view.
I see cars. And snow. What about that medieval castle that is supposed to be visible from her window?
I think it kicked her out again. Yeah, you can. It's in a big. I don't know. It's hard to. She doesn't have a Zoom or something.
And it's a phone. Telephone capability is not great. Oh, we see something now.
Do we see her emails now? You have to unmute yourself.
Unmute yourself, Dana.
I am doing it. I work on it. Wonderful.
Yeah, it was a beautiful picture of Prague. After COVID, all of us are coming to stay with you.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
We're all, used to living in 5 people in 3 rooms, so.
That's the second part of this program, is that we go on a tour of where everybody lives.
Everybody who agrees to be on this program has to host us for 6 weeks.
I better tidy up then.
Yeah, minimum 6 weeks. That sounds good.
I don't want the people to see the truth.
Well, Michael, show them your room with the steep ladder.
With the what?
Show us.
With the what?
Ladder.
The attic room with the steep ladder.
It's not an attic. Well, I live in a place that has no, this is the attic space.
Mm-hmm.
And I've recently installed this collapsible ladder.
Wow.
Ladder.
So that's
that
how you
goes
get
in the
upstairs?
it goes in the upper. There is another tiny little room under the roof up there.
So cute.
So that's how it is. When I'm walking, let me see if, can you see? You can't see anything, can you?
Oh, it's
It's
something like
Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters.
Yeah, I was trying to show you the countryside under the snow, but obviously can't see anything because it's too dark. Sorry.
Yeah.
Well, if you turn off all the lights, and maybe that will work.
Next time.
I would surprise because it's dark here. Yeah.
That's my shooting gallery up there.
What gallery? Shooting?
Shooting gallery.
Ah. Very interesting.
Здоровья.
Спасибо.
I missed some part. What are you doing there?
Bloody Mary. He's drinking Bloody Mary.
Okay. I have only ginger tea here with honey, though.
I don't know if you
we should actually drink for health.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
For health, all of you. What are you having?
Mine is just water. Come on.
Have we covered all of our topics?
Tomato juice.
And
Very
more.
healthy.
And it's hot water.
So how are we going to continue with this project? Now other countries will take place, or?
Next week is friends from Berlin at the same time.
And the same link. One link for every program. Then after that, we will have people from, where from?
France and
Israel.
and South Africa.
And then France, and then South Africa. I think that's it. So it's the same link, the same day, the same time. Please join us if you can. It will be interesting. The more the merrier.
Yeah.
we'll come up with something. And I'm surprised that we don't have more people joining us because it was heavily advertised and maybe it wasn't very obvious what the program is about.
We just need to pick up some steam. The next time there'll be more and then more.
Yeah.
If I may chime in, I think it would be a nice idea not to have 3 Zooms in a row.
Well, sorry, next time it's the same thing.
I know.
Well, I am willing to take upon myself turning on all the gadgets and starting this Zoom program next time. So hopefully Magda will figure out what's wrong with her thing today. And
I will just reboot it. I think the IT 101 is to reboot it.
Maybe. That's why I will turn on the Zoom myself next time so that you can have time to adjust all your settings 101, provided my thing will work.
Yeah.
Because from time to time it just doesn't.
Yeah.
Or maybe we should all test our equipment beforehand.
Yeah, I'm not sure about you, but I've been disconnected a few times. You stay on the whole time?
Yes, I did see that you have low internet bandwidth. So something is wrong with your internet speed right now. Well,
well, that's in general because what is the time? Yeah, about 7 o'clock in the house. Many people is connected, and that might be the case.
You have to tell them to stop watching Netflix.
Or whatever they're doing.
All the kids,
all you have to do is
on phone and PC. So
I
computers.
just cut myself off from Netflix. I wonder how long I'm going to last.
You can always do uložka.
Yeah, exactly. I just get some movie, download it, and I watch it whenever I want. Exactly.
Hey, have you watched Queen's Gambit, Dana? You have, right?
Yes, I did.
Well, we have few new ones I will send you.
Oh, really? That
yeah,
was really interesting.
I'm trying to keep my husband away from the news because I don't want to hear about it anymore. So I always like, come, I have a really nice movie to watch.
What is it, Magda? No, never mind, nothing. That's a long time ago. I saw something interesting, but I don't remember the whole thing. Many things is happening at the same time. It's incredible because since spring 2020, I don't work, but still I'm so busy, and many things is happening also because of internet. That a lot of new information is coming, and still my list to do. It's like 5 pages, and I don't know what to do first. So I think now and for future, for myself, very important is to optimize the time and be able to focus for a few things.
So Magda, see what your new program is going to be about? Optimizing the time.
And I was going to ask, talking about movies, there is a new Czech movie called Charlatan or Charlatan, and it was nominated for the Oscars. Has anybody seen it?
I did.
I haven't seen it yet, but critics
it's no longer on
very good.
Because they sued them, so they had to take it down.
Who sued who?
Well, this platform, people keep downloading illegally movies too. But I'm sure it will be in United States on Netflix or Amazon Prime or something because it's nominated for Oscars, and it's very good movie. Right, Dana? Did you like it?
Well, I'm trying to go through all emotions which been happening inside of me while I've been watching this movie. And in fact, there was not any new message for me. He was very interesting person. He got also chance to heal others, help a lot of people, definitely. But there was a problem, or the problem, secret police was doing a lot of him. And this is nothing new for me, because I watch, well, I have to make a little bit longer this sentence. We went through the time of communism, and here was secret police, which everybody knows. But after 1990s, a lot of secret materials came out, and I was really interested about all that. So I saw many of those kind of things. And it's not very pleasant, because also many things is happening nowadays. And the movie just brought back all the strange feelings. And I think for like international watchers, or for people abroad, it might be interesting to bring a little bit more what's been happening in this country, that here people being talented, and then now it's about scientists, doctors, engineers, whatever, and they couldn't do their jobs because they was not very keen on this regime. But at the same time, there is a movie, Unbearable Lightness of Being, which very nicely explains the situation during communism, during the era in this country. There was a couple which immigrate, I think, to Switzerland, and they came back because they couldn't take all the guilt that they left the family here. And basically, the movie in the movie, the message what I read is there is no way out. It doesn't matter if you stay in the communist era here or if you emigrate. And at the same time, I spoke with a lot of tourists from all around the world. And I think it's something was not possible to share. You really have to live through it. And this is exactly the feeling which been brought to me, because I would love to share and explain something. But this is something what I realize, that you can watch the movie and you will get some message, but the whole thing was so impact and so heavy, it's not really possible to pass with words. I don't know if you understand. Please tell me.
We get it.
Yes, that makes perfect sense.
You know, so I think I really enjoy movies.
I think you can.
Mm-hmm. Michael?
I think you can. I do agree with you. I don't think you can fully grasp the reality that's lived from a book or from a film, or right. So you've got to live it to completely understand. But I think if it wasn't for the books and for the films and for culture that interprets these life of other people to other people, this world would be really much worse to live in. It's good that we have films like that, and sometimes
definitely.
it's really hard to understand.
Let's try to share.
It's really hard to understand the different social context, and sometimes it's really difficult to understand history. But we need something that gives us a power to understand it better.
Charlatan, huh? Okay. Magda, should we start a movie viewing online for the library?
Ask Laura. I actually love foreign cinema. That's kind of my. That's kind of
I have a question.
Yes.
If when you've started a program like this, that's really very nice, and I'm happy to be here with you. Did you also consider continuing beyond this point and start a community, a WhatsApp community or Facebook community of people who actually participated and continue the discussion in on some social network? I'm not on Facebook, but still I would be. I think it would be definitely worth it, because we have established a nice relationship. We had a nice discussion, but it doesn't have to be over when we hang up today.
Oh, that's a great idea.
We do have another program that's actually right before this one. Well, 2 hours before this one started. That's just open to anybody to talk. Yeah. And so it's mostly been library staff, but I think that we could
have
anybody. We could have it. I mean, it's open to anyone who wants to join.
Yeah. No, it's really, I mean, you can join us because our manager is there with us. But it's really
I've got plenty of time.
Nice conversation.
It's every Tuesday at 9 our time, which is 2 hours before you started this program. So whatever time difference it is, 7, 8 hours.
That would be 4 o'clock in the afternoon, I think.
4 o'clock for us.
Too early for you? Is it too early?
Well, at that time, I'm usually still at meetings. Sometimes I am, sometimes I'm not.
Well, for me, still also too early. I'm outside very often, but we will see.
Well, all right.
That would be a pleasure to see the program again.
Well,
it was so wonderful to talk with you both.
Yeah. Very, very interesting. And life is completely different from ours here.
Thank you for the invite. I enjoyed it very much.
Nice seeing you again.
You guys can join us at any time.
Well, lovely meeting all of you, and I hope that one day we will meet in person.
That would be wonderful.
Because all of us are coming to Prague.
Yeah, next time we start to plan. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much, everyone.
I've got some I've got the house has got plumbing, and I've got some inflatable beds here. So if you don't mind sleeping on the floor, you're all invited. Why don't you come?
Sure. And plumbing doesn't bother us.
I'm a good cook.
That's really welcoming. That's nice to hear.
Deal. We will organize something, some kind of a group discount trip for people over 50.
We will see on the end of this program how many countries it's involved.
Well, let's
maybe
see.
Michael, you have also garden. It's possible to build a tent. So six countries.
Right now, or the whole thing?
Well, I'm not sure how huge this program is.
This particular program next week, we're at the same time on Tuesday, we are meeting with our German friends. The following week, we will talk to people from Israel. The other week, we will talk to people from France, hopefully. And then the next week, it will be the last program will be about meeting people from South Africa.
Wonderful. So, Michael, I hope also you have garden and it's possible to bring their own tents, to have international meetings like that.
Yes, of course. Yeah, we can arrange for that. But around this house, this is a house that has many spaces that people can sleep.
Yeah, we've seen one upstairs.
Huge stone. There's a huge stone cellar downstairs, and there are also what do you call them, sheds. There are sheds, and there are what do you call the places where you put cattle, where you put goats and where you put sheep. It's not a barn. It's not a barn. It's inside the house. Stable. Yeah. So they're quite nice. I
So
slept
wonderful.
in them.
Next time we will plan
In
details.
summer, it's good to sleep there.
So it's going to be cultural exchange,
Why don't you all
huh?
come? Yeah.
That's a great idea. I love it.
That was a pleasure to talk to you with some few times when I've been disconnected, but I'm happy I make it on the end also. And I will definitely put this time, 4 p.m. Next Tuesday, you mentioned, yeah, on my diary. And I hope I will see you then. If not next week, then in future.
But the 4 p.m. class has a different Zoom link. I will send it to you.
Okay, wonderful.
And the same Zoom link as this one is the continuation of this program, People of the World Unite, at the same time, 6 o'clock your time, 6 o'clock in the evening, every Tuesday for what, 4 more weeks? So if you can join us, please join us.
Thank you.
I will try. I don't promise, but I will try.
And I'm surprised that Zoom hasn't kicked us out yet. It's almost been 2 hours.
Well, why would now?
Flies. That's
Why would?
exactly.
Well, thank you, everyone.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Take care.
Thank you. Take
Okay.
care. Stay
Lovely
safe.
meeting you, and see you next time.
Okay.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Good evening.